Alright guys, welcome back to Black Ambassadors of Change. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. So we're back again with another great video for you to entertain, inform, and educate. So this week we're tackling part 2 of Mental Wellness Day, guys. Black Ambassadors of Change is on. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. See you soon. Guys, this week we have another fantastic video, part 2, Mental Wellness, hosted by Charlamagne Tha God at the Marriott Marquis. It was a great seminar, very informative, very educational, inspiring, all the things that Black Ambassadors of Change aspire to be. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the inform bell, so when we post a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. You won't miss a thing, guys. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Take a look at the video. Black Ambassadors of Change is on, baby. See you soon.
I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to look down at the ground, cast your gaze down. I'm going to invite you to take one deep breath in and to blow it out. And to do that one more time. In and blow it out. Now I'm going to teach you how I meditate. This won't take 20 seconds, I promise you. I ask you to think of a positive word. That word is going to be your intention for the rest of the day. This is aligned with when you came into the door, into the building. The iHeart and NWA, everybody who put this together had this beautiful mirror board asking you to set intention. If you did that, reflect on it. If you did not, this is your opportunity to do it now. So for just the 20 seconds I have left was in the spot, for 20 seconds, your eyes closed, hands on your lap, sitting up straight, I'm going to ask you to just pay attention to your breath. As Sister Tracy said, and I'm going to time you, you're going to breathe, and I'm going to ask you to only do this for 10 seconds. We're going to start now. You can open your eyes, and I'll ask you to take one deep breath in, blow it out. And everybody in here is just practicing meditation. Can you give yourself a round of applause for that? Like Mr. Tracy said, you take that in your eyes. Know what you're doing that, right? Just thinking about before we said about be worried and wonder about the people who think we're crazy. Nobody has to know that you're doing it, and please, always, when you go to work next week or you get on that Zoom next week and that person get on your nerves and start dancing on it, remember what I just taught you right before you go off and get yourself in trouble, okay? So just do this one. In this last minute, I'm going to ask each of my esteemed panelists in 30 seconds, we'll start checking. Tell me one thing you would encourage everybody out there to do to take care of their mental health. Now, on time you, because we have a minute, so go. You got 30 seconds.
So I really want to just elevate the conversation we had about we take care of our physical health. Many of us go every year to our doctor, right? And the checkup. I want you to think about what would that look like for me if I went and saw a therapist every year just to do a checkup. Normalizing this process, right? There's nothing wrong with you going right now to see a therapist, whether there's something new going on or you just want to try it out, right? So I want your call to action today. Schedule an appointment with a therapist.
I apologize, I couldn't hear the question very well. The noise. One thing in 30 seconds or less, one thing you would share with the audience or how they can take care of their mental health.
Okay, 1.5 things. One thing is get a copy or download the Unapologetic Guide to Black mental health. The other thing is to recognize that life is a series of decision points. So things are happening all the time. And we can each choose, I'm going to let this take over me, or I'm going to take a step back, evaluate it, and determine whether or not I got control of this.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. And I would also say to download #driven or purchase a copy from Amazon. It has 5 principles that you can apply in your life and help you to navigate the everlasting issues and concerns that you may face in your life. #driven, faith, motivation, determination, preparation, and action.
Thank you, sis. All right. And my sister Tracy, what are you?
I would say make space for grace.
How is your diet? How is your nutrition? How is your spiritual life? Do you have a purpose? And then, based on their diagnosis or what they're telling me are their symptoms or their problems, and how severe those problems are, and based on their family background, then we will begin to have a conversation about whether or not we think it's appropriate for them to try medications. And I just want to make this point specifically. You know, the Black community has been harmed by psychiatrists. And I want to be clear about that. The Black community has been harmed by psychiatrists and been harmed by medicine in general. So I tell everyone, when you are meeting with a physician and considering taking medications for any condition, have a very open and honest conversation about what side effects you may experience, about how long you may need to be on that medication. Because people tell me, well, I don't want to take medications for the rest of my life. And I tell them, I don't want you to either. And so I think it's very, very important to have a holistic approach to care and have very, very open conversations about if you are deciding to take medications, inform yourself about what side effects may happen, how long you may take those medicines, and have a very open, honest conversation with your physician about that.
Thank you. And Queen, I think I asked a little bit about the holistic approach for you. How does intuition support our mental health? I kind of believe, for me personally, that's where it starts with, like, really hearing my true self voice to be able to work through any of my concerns. So how does intuition play into that?
How does it all? Well, thank you, Doctor. I totally agree. To me, a whole nation, a whole civilization was based on a particular principle. And it's an African principle. It's called Ma'at. And Ma'at means truth, righteousness, reciprocity. Because if you don't get your reciprocity, you're going to be mad. Harmony, wellness. So the goal holistically is to become in a state of Ma'at. Balanced. So when you're angry, quick to angry. When you're hostile, when you want revenge, when you want to blame, when you want to do everything outside of yourself, that is when you break down. The symbol also represents the heart. And it's a scale. And on one side of the scale is your heart, and the other side is the feather. We're very mystical, powerful beings. He said our hearts, to be whole, must become as light as a feather. So first our hearts are heavy about what our mother did, what our father did, doing the best that they could do, what they had to work with, what your previous mate did, what your children did, what your community did. It can make you go crazy unless you can self-reflect. When you have to take time, take a pause, I heard that, take a pause to reflect and say, okay, so that's why I keep attracting that madness in my life.
Real.
Right? And when you say, okay, what can I do to shift that madness? Because I'm attracting it. Take a detox. Detox what you're saying, detox your thoughts, detox your house, detox your relationship, network, and lifestyle, detox your lifestyle. And in that detoxification, it's not just you just doing it done. It is a way of life. I live a detox life. I've been detoxing for 50 years. I will never stop detoxing. So you get to the truth of it. You get to, which is behind, get to your power. You get to your blessings. You get to your prosperity. You get to attract healthy relationships. You get to forgive. I want you to all your relations. That's my eye. Forgive, because you know what? They also are learning. and they were overcoming and they were growing. Because once you start to clean up your heart and start to detox your life, you start to raise the frequency.
Speak on it! Speak on it!
You know, they're killing us because our frequency is at the lowest frequency. And we're killing ourselves because we're eating dead food that's at the lowest frequency. That causes us to attract relationships that at the what? Lowest frequency. So we start to live on the highest frequency, plant-based living, holistic living, we start to elevate the frequency. That's why after your 21 day or your season of cleansing, what did you do? You raised the frequency. And you're like, change. What we do? We go back to the habits. Don't go backwards. Go forward and continue your cleansing. Feel like that.
Is she great or what? Very much so. We were talking earlier today, and a lot of what was just mentioned here, we kind of discussed more, I guess, from my perspective on a personal matter. But what is it that you do that's different from Western medical approaches, and kind of picking up on where Queen left off with your practice and with your clients?
So I speak a lot about decolonizing our minds, our education, the concept even of time, the concept of time being linear, the synthetic linear timing that keeps us all so ill and outside of the present moment. And so I would say that if we were to break down how the Western coaching approach to healing is different from the shamanistic approach, it would be as simple as recognizing from the shamanistic approach that we're whole. That regardless of gender, we have masculine and feminine energy. And so when we recognize that, we stop approaching healing from a masculine drive only. And what we start to recognize is that when we bring in the divine feminine into the equation, it's all about just healing the parts of us that are wounded. The only then question that is there is, what needs healing? What needs healing? There was something very significant, Sydney, that you said about not bypassing our emotional bodies. And what happens oftentimes when we're not in sync with our feminine energy and our masculine energy is that we become very desensitized to what we're actually feeling. So desensitized as well because when we're on synthetic timelines, we're made to feel like it's inappropriate to feel our emotions, like feeling our emotions would get in the way of any progress or productivity. When the truth of the matter is that it is our emotional bodies that signal what needs healing. If it doesn't feel good, we're being triggered. And if we're being triggered, it's not because life is bad. It's not because poor me. It's because life is pointing to what needs healing. So much of what needs healing has very little to do with our current life. It has more to do with the history of colonialization, with a history of ancestral trauma. And so the approach is just wholeness.
There you go. Anita, you also discuss ancestral trauma in your book, Shallow Waters. Tell us about the book and what you cover in it.
Absolutely. So in Shallow Waters, I work with, for me, Shallow Waters was the healing of my ancestral trauma. And within it, I speak about chattel slavery and going through the Middle Passage and what our ancestors went through as children of the diaspora, right? Us being cut off from our motherland, like I had said before, our mother tongue, all of that, being cut off of that. And with the work that actually Queen Afua does, she connects us back into that, right? Like, because so much of it is within our intuition. It's in our bodies for us to remember. And so what also happens is that our trauma is being passed down. So for me, one of the journeys that I went into was, wait, why whenever I have to do work, like, or if something comes up where the word work comes up, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like, oh God, work? And then when I'm doing it, I'm like, this feels really good. This feels really good. And so I actually went on a journey to find out that, okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cuss. The work was because of what my ancestors, they had to freaking work for free all day long. And so I just was like, okay, let me go back into this, because further back than that, we know that our ancestors built civilizations that had our spirituality a part of it, which is another thing with when you think of spiritual psychology, it has the different levels of psychology, but then you add in spirit. And so that's what all of us, right, are saying, is that spirit is already in there. We're not adding it in, we're just remembering. And as we do that, we are remembering our body, putting the members back where it's supposed to be.
What's up, brother? How are you? You mind if I record you? I have a vlog called Black Ambassadors of Change, and we're just trying to talk to some of the people and find out why they're here today.
So you can hold on to the mic.
Okay.
So just tell us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell me a little bit about your organization.
Awesome. So I'm representing the Acoma Project today. So the Acoma Project is a national nonprofit based out of Northern Virginia that works particularly with BIPOC youth, particularly around teenage age. And so what we do is that these are our three goals here. We're raising consciousness, empowering people, and changing the system. We're working with our young Black people to be able to talk about mental health, to be able to get engaged in mental health. We do research work with them. We collaborate with community-based organizations, faith-based organizations to really change the conversation and build community capacity for our young Black people doing this work. And so that's a big part of what we do.
So how can somebody reach your organization if they're interested?
Absolutely. Follow us on social media so you can get all of our updates. That's at Acoma Project, AAKOMA Project. On Twitter, and also follow our executive director, Dr. Alfie. You can follow her at DRALFIEE and get connected to our work there. And we also have thecomaproject.org is also our website if you want to get connected there as well.
Okay, so what inspired you to do this?
So I'm not the founder, but our founder was working in academia, doing a lot of work there, and feeling like it wasn't having enough of an impact. So she left academia and started this nonprofit in 2019 to really be able to do the work herself and to be able to build her own research projects to help Black youth as well.
So what has been the response today from the guests at this seminar today?
It's been great. A lot of people have come by and really been engaged and wanting to know more about this, especially for young people, because they kind of get left out of the conversation as well.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
No problem. Appreciate you, boss.
Good luck with your organization.
Thank you, boss.
Appreciate it.